Greetings and welcome to another exciting edition of Poet to Poet, and we're coming to you live from the Cafe Incognito in Richmond Hill, Queens, and we want to thank Burke and Tanya and Morris and Jasmine and all the gang here for letting us come in and make public spectacles of ourselves. And I'm Robert Dunn, and I have the dubious distinction of hosting all this, and we're a step up tonight. Because we have a show of truly international flavor. We have Orna Rav-Hon, who came all the way from Israel to be with us on this installment. And we also have Bob Perfetto, who brought his guitar, and I'll give you 3 guesses what he does. In any event, I don't want to waste too much time. I want to get right to Orna because she has a long ride home after the taping. And let's see, Orna Rav-Hon is a 5th-generation Israeli, currently living in Kfar Sirkin. Are you sure that's in Israel?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little village.
Okay. Is it near any of the big cities? Or,
Near Petah Tikva. It is 20 kilometers from Tel Aviv.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Let's see. She has 2 books of poetry to her credit, published in Hebrew. Kiaf HaKol, which translates into like the firebird. Oh, that's not fair. It's transliterated. I was hoping to practice my Hebraic letters, which won the Tel Aviv Prize for Culture and Literature, and the Jiat Shel Kovachim, The Touch of Stars, also published in Tel Aviv. The first was in 1980. The latter was in 1986, which won the President's Prize. Is that the Israeli President's Prize?
Yes.
We have a president here too, you see, that's why I asked. Let's see, you served as the chairperson for the Committee for Foreign Affairs of the Hebrew Writers Association in Israel, and you're doing all kinds of wild stuff. You have a new book coming out for, I think, Stanley Barkin's Cross-Cultural Communications. Tell us about that.
This is the book. I met Stanley a year and a half ago. When I came here to United States and to New York in the first time of my life. And he saw the book and the translations, and he loved it. And he decided to publish it, and now it is published, and I'm very excited. And I'm excited too because today is the Independence Day of Israel. I don't know anybody here is aware of it, but I am very excited that this book is published in this day.
Right, it's technically as we tape. The book is called Firebird. And it has this fascinating abstract by Yaakov Agam on the cover. And
he's a very famous writer.
Let's see if we can get a few samples of the goodies within.
Okay.
Now you're going to give us both languages, is that correct?
Okay, yes. The first, I read in English first. To my mother, when you were gone. When you were gone, I went out to the street. Shops were shut. Traffic lights endlessly flicked. People walked on the streets, faces sealed. And in a train I collapsed a child, and another one. And the trees were going, gone, going, gone. It was translated by Riva Rubin.
Oh, you don't do your own translations?
Sorry?
You don't do your own?
No, I don't think I know enough English to translate. I don't know the nuance.
Okay. What does it sound like in Hebrew?
אחרי שלא היית עוד, לאמי. אחרי שלא היית עוד, יצאתי אל הרחוב. החנויות היו סגורות. רמזורים הבהבו תמידית. אנשים הלכו ברחוב, פניהם חתומות. וברכבת החזקתי ילד ועוד ילד, והעצים היו נוסעים, נסוע והרחק, נסוע והרחק.
Okay, well let's try another one.
This is the the next, it refers to the first poem.
Yeah.
What is covering you now? Now, what is covering you? What? Sand or clay? To cut the air with hard whispers? To forget you're facing death? Now, do the follicles of your hands still feel? This was translated by Stanley Barkan.
Who runs cross-cultural communications, by the way. And the Hebrew version?
עכשיו מה מכסה אותך? עכשיו מה מכסה אותך? מה? אדמת חול או חמרה אולי? לחתוך את האוויר בלחישות קשות. פנים להשכיח באוב. פלומות ידייך רכושות מה?
Let me ask you, Orna, how difficult is it to maintain the mood of your poem when it is translated from Hebrew into English? Do you find yourself satisfied generally?
Yes, I pick...
I would think that would be a fairly difficult task for a translator.
I pick translators that in the same head of me. So they catch the spirit. I think this is most important, more than the words, the soul of the poem, and they catch it. Yes.
In your experience, when you come across an idiom, a phrase that cannot be literally translated, do you rewrite the poem? Do you work with the translator? Or do you just select another poem?
No, I work with the translator and tell him perhaps he can find something else if it is not appropriate.
Yes. Bob was saying that he imagines it's a difficult task for a translator to achieve, and it is, and sometimes I've found that even within the same language, it can be a difficult task for a proofreader as well. In any event, Orna, how about another poem?
Okay. שכחה, כשעולות בזיכרוני ידיך, בורחות מחשבות גופי. ידיים זרות פותחות דלתיי אל עדנה אחרת. לא היכני איש עד סף אהבתו. This is Poer tight.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that the first version was not the English.
Yes, of course not.
Okay.
It's easier for me to read in Hebrew, as you realize. When your hands come to my mind, my body thoughts take flight. Strange hands open me to a different delight. Nobody beats me within an inch of his love. This was translated by River Rubin too.
I know a number of people in Manhattan who might try, but it's kind of weird. Let's slip another poem in.
Okay.
I want to make sure that everybody out there gets a good sampling, because you did come a long way to be here.
Yes. In this woman, pain turns. In this woman, pain turns to something else. Like the firebird, she rises, shaking ash from her chestnut hair. A round of days awaits me yet, and she unfurled like a peacock. הכאב הופך באישה הזאת למשהו אחר. הכאב הופך באישה הזאת למשהו אחר. כעוף החול היא קמה, מנערת שערה בגון האגוז, עוד נכונו לי ימים, ופורסת נוצות כטווס.
What is the state of poetry in Israel? Is it popular? Do people come to readings? Are there readings?
Yes, there are readings, but the situation of prose is much better than the situation of poems, and it is not commercial.
And yet you do have 2 books to your credit, and more on the way, I trust, and so there must be some audience.
There are people that like poetry, but you can sell a book of poetry only in 10 copies, 1,000 copies. The prose is sell, for example, for 10,000 copies. But we, the poets, have to be very dedicated to our task, like you are, I believe. And I don't stop doing this because I believe in the poetry and in my poetry.
That's great. And don't feel bad about that sales curve, because we have a similar one in America, that the 10-to-1 versus prose and against poetry. I'd like to slip in one more poem from you.
פסיעות על פסגות, פסיעות על פסגות לא דרכתי עדיין, מדי פעם פונות ידיי אחור, אל נופים מוכרים שיש בתוכם צורך בלתי פוסק. כל נשימה הופכת משהו אחר. Footprints on the summits. I haven't yet left footprints on summits. My hands at times reach backwards to known landscapes, holding need without end. With each breath, something turns.
And that was translated by
Riva Rubin.
Yes. Now, I understand that in your traveling around the New York area, that you're going to do a little reading in City Hall.
Yes.
In New York City Hall. That's very exciting. They haven't asked me yet, but they know me too well for that. Do you get many welcomes like that when you travel?
Sometimes. In Paris, I read in a big hall, in a big place, and with the consulate of Israel. Yes, yes, sometimes.
When I was in Paris, they invited me to read at the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which is several hundred miles away. Anyway, one more poem to round out the session.
Okay, I read the poem that is on the wall in the exhibition. That the photos of Rona Gam and the poems of Stan Barkan.
It's in there somewhere.
Yes, The Way to Jerusalem. The woman on the bus has a hard face, hair pulled back in a uniform line, tough sketches eyes, and only her gnarled head plies her mouth again and again with smoke and smoke again. Fine signs of wrinkles show hard and sad. What's the point in staring at her on the way to my own private city, where the dark valley hits you with its sudden glints, with frost, drunk with freedom. And this was again translated by Riva Rubin.
Okay.
In Hebrew, I would like.
All right. Yeah.
It's possible. בדרך לירושלים, לאישה באוטובוס פנים קשים, שערה משוך אחור בקו אחיד, וסרטוט עינה נוקשה. רק ידה כמושה הגישה לפיה, שוב והלוך, עשן ושוב עשן, וקמטים דקים הסתמנו קשים ועצובים. מה טעם נעצתי בעיני בדרכי אל עירי הפרטית, שם העמק החשוך מכה בך, פתאום בנצנוציו, בקרה, כשיכורה בחירותה.
Orna Rav-Hon, ladies and gentlemen. Orna, it was a really great pleasure to have you on today. And we'll be back in a moment with Bob Perfetto and his magic guitar, so don't go away.